I almost feel like some old grandpa talking about Ford stock, but I am telling you that in a few years' time, Ford is going to be like the Android to Apple's iPhone when it comes to EVs and Tesla. I think that in 4, 5, 6 years, Ford and Tesla are going to be neck and neck, especially in some markets like the United States and Europe. So just this month, Ford came out and they said that they were the number one seller of vehicles in the US in September. And Ford is nothing new when it comes to being number one. Actually, the F-150, so Ford's F-150 is the best selling truck in America for the last 40 years. And in case you've been sleeping under a rock, Ford is coming out with an electric version of the F-150. And there's been a lot of great reviews about it. Now, Ford came out and they said that they're going to build 3 EV battery factories and an auto assembly plant in Kentucky and Tennessee. And this is really important because a company like Ford, usually when a company is that old and they reach maturity, they just get fat and lazy. They say, you know what, let's just keep rolling what we're doing. Let's just give out fat bonuses to the C-suite. And the way that they really keep investors around is they give them nice fat dividends. And they say, hey, if you stick around, we might even give you some more dividends. And it's just residual income, so people have it on the balance sheets. They have it in their stock portfolio. But that is not what Ford is doing. Ford is betting big on itself. With $11.4 billion, it's going to create 3 EV battery factories and an auto assembly plant. Now, this is important because they are clearly following in the footsteps of Tesla, which realized a long time ago that they want to be in control of their supply chain. They don't want to face these same issues that a lot of companies are facing right now, where there's a chip shortage and they rely on Europe, they rely on Asia. Even before the chip shortage, when the pandemic hit, it was crazy for these companies because they couldn't get parts because their supply chain was scattered all over the world. And so Ford has learned from that. It's taken a page out of Tesla's playbook and it's going to town with it. And that is why I feel like Ford to Tesla is going to be like Android to the iPhone. Apple was ahead. They were the ones that innovated. They were the ones that created the whole smartphone trend. But then Google went after the market with Android. And Google is very much like a Ford because Ford has the infrastructure, they have the know-how, and they have the best-selling vehicles in America. And by the way, while I was doing research for this, I was talking to someone and they thought that Lincoln was a separate company. So I just want to mention that if you ever hear of Lincoln, that's owned by Ford. That's just the luxury vehicle division of Ford, the same way that Cadillac is the luxury vehicle division of GM. Also, the thing that I love about Ford is James Farley Jr. The guy's the CEO of Ford and he's amazing. I definitely recommend that you guys listen to some interviews. You can YouTube around, you can Google around. His bio is really impressive and he's just an innovative guy and he's kind of really cool. And if you want proof that he's cool, he's a board member of Harley Davidson. Does it get any cooler than that? So without further ado, let's jump into the different lineup of vehicles that Ford is going to be coming out with. And in my personal opinion, out of all the automakers in America, actually maybe the world, they have the best lineup coming in 2022. The other interesting thing is there's only 2 auto manufacturers in America that haven't filed for bankruptcy as auto companies, and that's Ford and Tesla. And so I really think that Ford and Tesla have a lot in common, and they're going to have a lot more in common in about 3 to 5 years. You just wait, because Ford is going after the innovative model and they're going to do a lot in the EV space. And the interesting thing is this. Now, I know that Tesla has a little bit of a different business model. They're obviously in the energy space. They do a lot with solar, but Tesla has a market cap of $800 billion. Meanwhile, Ford only has a market cap of $60 billion. That means that Ford is like 13 and a half times smaller than the market cap of Tesla. So Ford has a lot of growth potential. So you can envision if Ford just hits everything out of the ballpark, that in 6 years, 7 years, they can catch up to Tesla and they can go that 13, 14, 15x from where they are today. But it's hard to imagine that a company like Tesla can 10, 12, 13x from where they are today. That wouldn't really make much sense. That would mean that they're worth like 10, 12, 13 trillion dollars. The only way I see that happening is if inflation is out of control and the value of the dollar is just piss, and that way they can be valued at 13 trillion. but I don't think that that's really likely to happen. And so when I invest in a company, especially if I'm doing a long-term trade, and I'll show you my trades in a second, we're going to jump into the fundamentals and the technicals of Ford. I'll show you exactly how I'm trading it, when I got in, why I'm sitting on a hefty profit right now, and why I have no plans at getting out anytime soon. But the thing I want to mention is that when I am going into a position and I'm thinking of holding it long term, I really look for that long runway, that nice steep runway that the price can experience over the coming years. So strap yourselves in, guys. Without further ado, this is the Bulls, the Bears, and the Bats episode for this week. And I hope you appreciate that I gear up for these videos. What other YouTube channel gears up for the company that they're going to cover? I always do that. Yeah, sure, other channels are more accurate in their predictions and they're giving you better information, but they don't dress the part. And really, that's what matters at the end of the day. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. So guys, before we jump into the whole stock market thing and do fundamental technical analysis, I just want you guys to go to Ford.com, and if you're interested in investing in this company, I highly recommend that you click on electrified so that you could see all the electrical vehicles that are coming down the electrical pipeline, and they are very impressive. And over here you can see the ones that are hybrid, the ones that are plug-in hybrid, and the ones that are all electric. And look at this, 2021 Mustang Mach-E, 2022 Mustang Mach-E, you got the 2022 Maverick, which is highly anticipated. I've read a few articles about it, and it's a very impressive hybrid truck. And also definitely don't forget about the 2022 E-Transit, because Ford is the leader in commercial brand van vehicles. And if you want to read about any of the specs and anything about it, you simply click on it. So let's say the 2022 E-Transit, you can go through and they will explain everything here. They will point out the competitive advantages, the features, and they do an excellent job. I'm very pleased with Ford's website and the way they lay everything out, and it's just so easy to keep reading and reading. It's very intuitive. So now let's take a look at what Ford the stock has been doing. Okay, so if we take a look at the stock chart and some of the fundamentals, so the market cap of Ford, and you can find it with the ticker symbol F, trading on the New York Stock Exchange, the market cap currently is $60.96 billion. If you take a look at the 1 year range, it hit a low of $7.37. It was somewhere around October of last year, and currently it's sitting at $16.45. Which means that if you invested in it exactly a year ago, you would be sitting at over 100% gains, which is definitely an impressive amount. Now, if we take a look at the 6-month chart, it looks a little bit different. You're only up about 27%. And if you take a look at the 5-year, you can see what it's done. Now, clearly it hit a pandemic low. It was like at $4. You could have scooped it up end of March of 2020, and currently you would be near 4x your money. And if we take a look at the 1 month chart, it looks even different still, but it has been climbing. Just over the past month, it's up 20.84%. Now, the PE ratio is also something to keep in mind. A PE ratio of 18.36 is quite low in this type of industry. Now, the one thing I want to mention is I want to compare it to Tesla stock. So if we take a look at the 5-year, I mean, it's ridiculous. You could see percentage-wise that Tesla outpaces Ford by a lot. But if we take a look at the 1 year, it's looking rather different. It's looking like Ford has been taking off. And it doesn't matter which way you look at the chart, Ford is definitely on a bullish uptrend right now. So I do expect us to hit some turbulence when it comes to $16 and especially that high mark of $16.45. But if it breaks through there, we can literally go to $19, $20 before year's end. That would be awesome. But for me, this is a long-term investment. I'm in no rush to see Ford Motor Company hit $30, $40. In fact, I would love to have it just slow growth, and I would love to have the support levels and the resistance levels form in a healthy manner. And if we scoot down here and we look at the quarterly and annual, you could see that even though the price has been growing, this isn't as impressive. But one of the things that's built into the price is the potential of Ford, which is looking very good these days. And you could see that quarter over quarter, the revenue and the net income dropped a bit. However, the way to look at these is you got to compare it versus June of 2020. And you can actually see that there's been quite an increase. And this also goes into why the stock price has been moving. And please keep in mind, we are sitting on a chip shortage. And the fact that Ford is able to pull some of these numbers and have
all of these amazing things in the lineup and what's up ahead in the coming years, I see this as being a very profitable long-term investment. Now I want to show you exactly how I'm trading this and what my thought process is going forward. So in mid-May, I thought that the Ford stock is being way disrespected on the stock market. It was trading at $11.40, and so I went and I scooped up a bunch of it, about 10 grand worth. And you can see that the last price, we're sitting at like $15.64 now, and my total gain is nearly 40%. And since I put in 10 grand, that's almost 4 grand already. We're only talking a few months. And again, for me, this is a long-term investment. The only reason I will pull it out or pull portions of it out is if I see Ford grow way too quickly or some new news catalysts come in and that I see as being maybe disappointing or red flags. But as of now, I have no intention of selling out of Ford. I am holding this baby for the long term, and I'm really hoping that in the coming years that we're going to see something as similar as what happened to Tesla, maybe on a smaller scale, but still, I think that Ford is positioned to really do well in the coming years.
You know what, guys? I didn't know him personally, but I think if Henry Ford was alive and well today, he would be really proud of you for watching this video in its entirety. And I appreciate it as well. It's not only Henry Ford. And you have to understand that these videos, they take a lot of time to make. I compile a lot of research. I try to keep it a little entertaining as well. And I want to stay motivated to keep making videos. I'm not asking you guys to sign up to any courses, to any Patreons. I'm not selling anything. All that I ask is that if you have a second, don't smash the like button. Just gently press it. We have a chip shortage. There's no reason to destroy circuit boards. And comment, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I'm really have a goal of hitting that 10,000 subscriptions mark before the end of the year, and I really hope I do so. That'll keep me really motivated to keep making videos, and who knows where this channel goes. I'm a firm believer that if something is on the right trajectory, to just keep doing it, because for now, honestly, it is painful sometimes to make these videos. I like the process of research, but I put out videos and sometimes they only get 100 likes, and I'm like, ugh, why'd I spend all that time on the video? But then there's other ones that get 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 views, and then I'm like, okay, this is why I do it. This channel is going somewhere. So please, let's keep the trajectory going, and I'll see you guys in the next video.